And the fact that Schiff hasn't blinked since 1992. And he didn't take the news so well. The disgraced Democrat went on TikTok to complain. Behold.
Hello, I'm Congressman Adam Schiff with some troubling news. Today, Kevin McCarthy removed me from the House Intelligence Committee, all for doing my job, for holding Trump accountable and standing up to the extreme MAGA Republicans.
Senator Schiff, given the ongoing political tensions and Trump's actions toward his critics, do you think President Biden's preemptive pardons turned out to be more important than initially expected? Let's first tell people what that means, preemptive pardons. That was pretty unprecedented, right? Before he left office, Joe Biden pardoned you and a number of people who he thought Trump would go after.
No, I take the opposite view. I don't think he should have given the pardons at all.
Really?
No, I don't think he should have, and I was vocal about that at the time.
Can you refuse a pardon?
That's less clear because in the case of the January 6th committee, he pardoned essentially the whole committee.
You know, there's a certain kind of politician who just refuses to disappear. No matter how many scandals stack up, no matter how many times they're caught bending the truth, they keep crawling back into the spotlight like political cockroaches. And Adam Schiff, he's right at the front of that line. But here's the difference this time. People are finally waking up. Bill Maher, and let's be clear, he's no MAGA cheerleader, put Schiff on the hot seat on live TV. And then Greg Gutfeld went absolutely nuclear. This wasn't a light roast or a few cheap jokes. It was a full-on teardown of a political career built on smoke mirrors and non-stop grandstanding. And trust me, you're going to want to hear every second of this. So hit that subscribe button if you're sick of watching politicians lie straight to your face and still get rewarded for it.
Let's stop talking about Trump. We talk about him too much. We want to tell people what we're going to do for them. Healthcare, environment, those kind of issues. For example, I've seen you on TV a lot in the last couple of years. I know everything you know, or that you tell us, about the Russian situation. I don't have a clue what you think about healthcare. I've never heard it. Yeah. I don't know whether you're for Medicare for all, or improve Obamacare, or get a chicken. I don't know what. Well, I don't know what.
Not to Republicans, but to anyone who still gives a damn about honesty in politics. Let's start with the pity party Schiff threw for himself on TikTok. Yes, TikTok. The very platform lawmakers constantly warn us is tied to the Chinese government. But somehow, it became the perfect place for Adam Schiff to complain about being kicked off the House Intelligence Committee. In his best "I'm totally the victim here" voice, Schiff claimed it was all for doing my job, for holding Trump accountable, and for standing up to extreme MAGA Republicans. Give me a break. That's not why you got shown the door, Adam. You got the axe because you spent years selling the country a story that turned out to be complete fiction. Russian collusion. Remember that? Schiff swore up and down he had rock-solid evidence that Trump was working with the Kremlin. He said it so often he might have convinced himself it was true. But here's the problem. He never produced that evidence. Not once. It was all political theater. And when the curtain finally fell, it became clear the whole performance was built on lies.
Adam Schiff is not only a stone-cold, hopeless loser, but he is one of the most corrupt, one of the most shameful, one of the most heinous individuals ever to serve in public office in America. And everything he's devoted his life to has been debunked, discredited, and discarded. He literally represents the face of failure.
And yet, instead of owning any of it, Schiff went straight into full gaslight mode. I'm being punished for standing up to Trump. No, man. You're being held accountable for misleading the entire country. There's a difference. And Bill Maher? He wasn't buying it for a second. Now, Maher isn't exactly known for going easy on Trump either, but he is known for calling out nonsense no matter who it comes from. So when Schiff sat across from him, Maher didn't tiptoe around the issue. He dropped the hammer. He looked Schiff straight in the eye and said, "I've heard you talk about Trump and Russia for years, but I've never heard you say a thing about healthcare or what you're actually doing for Americans."
Now it just looks like you're stalking him. I think in the eyes of the people who don't follow it that closely, which is most of the country, here's the thing about Bob Mueller. He's like the last person, maybe the last thing in America that left and right agreed on. Left and right basically agreed. This is a guy of honor. This is an honest guy. This is an honest broker. Whatever he says goes. Americans are not into details. Don't read it to me, Bob. Just give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. The fact that he was like, I don't. If you couldn't impeach before, how are you going to impeach after?
Maher basically said out loud what a lot of people have been thinking for years. Adam Schiff has no real accomplishments, no major legislative wins, no serious policies to point to. Just years of obsessing over impeachment like a deranged Reddit poster who thinks every shadow is part of some deep state conspiracy. And while Schiff was busy chasing those impeachment fantasies, real issues that actually affect everyday Americans were being ignored.
I mean, the Mueller report is, at the end of the day, that firecracker that goes up and then the one that fizzles. Oh, look, nothing. Do you think you guys relied too much on that?
Real problems were unfolding, but Schiff was nowhere near them. Remember early 2020? While COVID-19 was quietly spreading across the US, Schiff and his crew were still fixated on Trump, dragging the country through another endless round of hearings that led absolutely nowhere. And Greg? He didn't let that nonsense slide. He went full savage.
But something's got to be done for Adam Schiff, because he created 3 years of a massive fallacy that did so much damage to this country and made us miss probably one of the most important stories of our lifetime. We were having hearings on impeachment while the coronavirus was exploding. We talked about that virus in green rooms, but we had to do this impeachment story. We had to show these hearings. It's all on him, man. He's got to go. They got to investigate him. They got to hold him accountable. I'm not going to say he should go to prison, but my evil twin will say he should go away to prison for a very long time.
Greg tore into Schiff, pointing out how his obsession with impeachment actually distracted both the government and the media from preparing for one of the worst health crises in modern history. People were getting sick, hospitals were overflowing, and Schiff was still spinning the same dead-end narrative like a broken record. Greg even joked that his evil twin thinks Schiff belongs in prison. Was it a joke? Sure. But the frustration behind it? 100% real. Here's the thing. You don't have to be a Trump supporter to see how dangerous it is when politicians weaponize their power to lie to the public just to score points. Schiff didn't just waste time. He wasted trust. He turned his committee chair into a tool to attack political enemies under the guise of intelligence oversight. And when it all blew up, he pivoted to victimhood like it was an Olympic sport. But it gets worse. After getting booted from the Intelligence Committee, what does Schiff do next? He announces a run for the Senate. That's right, he wants a promotion. He rolled out a slick, polished political ad, dramatic and full of the usual cliches about protecting democracy and fighting extremism, all while conveniently ignoring the massive elephant in the room, his own record of deception.
Congressman Adam Schiff announced this morning he's running for U.S. Senate in California, which is guaranteed to boost U-Haul rentals headed for Texas. He unveiled a highly polished and produced political ad right on the heels of getting booted from the House Intel Committee. Coincidence?
Bill Maher saw right through it again. He highlighted the growing frustration from voters, especially in places like California, where people are fed up with leaders who talk a big game but deliver nothing. Schiff's Senate campaign? Same tired playbook. Bash Trump, invoke defending democracy, and dodge every real issue. When Maher pressed Schiff on hot-button cultural topics like men competing in women's sports, Schiff danced around the question like a ballerina on a minefield. No commitment, no straight answer. Just another politician too afraid to say what he really thinks.
The Atlantic put out an article last year, and it was called "Separating Sports by Sex Doesn't Make Sense." Right. And talked about how we separate sports like the WNBA and just because it's just socialization. This is insane.
I agree.
Okay. That's why people vote for Trump. Mm-hmm. Because there's stuff like that on the left that people just go, I know Trump's horrible, but separating by sports by sex makes perfect sense.
And that's exactly the problem. People are tired of vague, spineless answers. Whether you agree or disagree with a policy, at least have the courage to say what you actually stand for. Schiff's constant dodging? That's not strategy, it's cowardice. Even worse, his hypocrisy shows up everywhere. When a judge was arrested for helping an illegal immigrant evade ICE, Schiff suddenly went silent, claimed he didn't know enough to comment. Seriously? The same guy who lectures the country non-stop about accountability suddenly can't find a word when real issues happen right in front of him.
What, did you read about the judge today that was arrested by? I mean, it's such a new story. I didn't want to bring it up during the show because I don't know enough about it. But there was a judge in Milwaukee. I guess it was a hearing for an illegal immigrant, definitely an illegal immigrant, and the ICE people came in to arrest this person, and apparently the judge spirited the person out the back door. That's what I read. Don't know if it's true because I don't trust anybody until I do a full vetting of it. But if this is and so the FBI came in and arrested the judge. Now, I haven't heard that, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever read arrested a judge. So is this significant?
Well, I think
I'm not going to comment on something I don't know more about than what you've just told me.
You read about it too.
Yeah, I mean, I read about it, but I don't know.
So you don't trust anything either, and you work for the New York Times.
Well,
This is the same guy who chased down every half-baked Trump story with laser focus, yet suddenly acts clueless when it comes to immigration or law enforcement. You can't have it both ways. You can't call yourself the defender of justice and then look the other way when your own side screws up. That's not justice. It's politics. And Americans are fed up. Now, let's talk about Schiff's censure. The House officially censured him for promoting the fake Trump-Russia collusion hoax, making him only the 26th member in U.S. history to earn that dishonor. And did he flinch? Nope. People joke that Schiff hasn't blinked since 1992, and honestly, after watching his robotic delivery and dead-eyed TikTok rants, I kind of believe it. But the bigger point isn't the censure itself, it's what it represents. This was Washington finally saying, enough. Enough lies, enough political theater, enough smug, self-righteous posturing from a guy who's done nothing to help everyday Americans.
Just pop their dentures when Schiff finally gets censored. And so the House condemns the lies of the man with the zombie eyes. Last night, the House voted on party lines to censure Adam Schiff for promoting the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, which was as believable as Brian Kilmeade getting fan mail. 2 for 2. Schiff becomes only the 26th member ever to be censured, but to his credit, he's still the only member to have a 12-inch.
What has Schiff actually done to fight inflation, tackle the border crisis, or lower the skyrocketing cost of living in California, where gas, groceries, and rent are all through the roof? Nothing. Not a single thing. He's too busy chasing shadows and crafting sound bites for MSNBC. So when Greg torched Schiff's Senate ambitions on live TV, it wasn't just about roasting him. It was a warning. Greg made it clear, if this is the kind of leader you want, someone who lies, dodges responsibility, and runs from every tough question, then by all means, vote for Schiff. But if you care about results, integrity, and actual leadership, it's time to leave the circus behind. The problem with Schiff isn't just that he lied, it's that he keeps lying, assuming nobody is paying attention. But people are waking up. They're seeing that guys like him don't serve the country, they serve themselves. Remember the fake dossier? Schiff ran with it, turned it into a national obsession, and when it blew up as bogus, he acted like nothing happened. No apology, no accountability, just the next headline, the next speech, the next campaign. And now, he's angling for a Senate seat. Californians should be insulted. This isn't leadership, it's manipulation. Political ambition dressed up as public service. Schiff built his career on outrage, not solutions, and now the cracks are showing. From dodging cultural debates to spinning every setback as persecution, he's become the poster boy for everything people despise about Washington. Whether it's Bill Maher, Greg, or everyday voters across the country, the message is loud and clear. We see you, Adam, and we're done. If you're tired of the lies, tired of the circus, and think America deserves leaders who are honest, bold, and actually care about real people, not just headlines, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment below. Does Adam Schiff deserve a Senate seat, or is it finally time to hold him accountable for the damage he's done? Let's have that conversation, because the days of getting away with political theater are over. And for Schiff, the spotlight just became a microscope.